What if I told you that the person you've been hardest on your entire life is yourself? Right now, in this very moment, there's a war happening inside you. A war between who you think you should be and who you truly are. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You're losing that war, not because you're weak, but because you've been fighting the wrong battle all along. Before you click away, let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror and genuinely smiled? Not the forced smile you give to the world, but a real, warm smile of acceptance? If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone. Millions of people wake up every day feeling not good enough, not worthy enough, not lovable enough. But here's what the Buddha discovered 2,500 years ago under the Bodhi tree, something that modern psychology is only now beginning to understand. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. And if that foundation is cracked, everything built upon it will eventually crumble. Today, we're going on a journey. Not to some distant mountaintop or ancient monastery, but inward, to the place you've been avoiding your entire life. Your true self. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll understand why loving yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. You'll discover why self-compassion is the key to inner peace, and you'll learn practical ways to finally make peace with the person staring back at you in the mirror. So take a deep breath. This might be uncomfortable. It might challenge everything you believe about yourself. But stick with me, because what you're about to learn could change everything. Let me tell you about Maya. She's not a real person, but her story is heartbreakingly real because it's the story of so many of us. Maya woke up every morning at 5:30, spent an hour at the gym pushing her body to exhaustion, got ready for work while mentally rehearsing conversations, trying to predict every possible way she might mess up. At work, she smiled, she performed, she exceeded expectations. But inside, there was a voice. A relentless, cruel voice that never stopped criticizing. You're not smart enough. You're too fat. You're too thin. You talk too much. You're too quiet. That presentation was terrible. Everyone thinks you're a fraud. You'll never be successful. You'll never be loved. Sound familiar? That voice is what the Buddha called the inner critic, but he understood it as something deeper. The false self, the ego, constructing an identity based on fear, comparison, and the desperate need for external validation. Here's what most people don't understand about self-love. It's not about posting affirmations on your bathroom mirror or treating yourself to spa days, though there's nothing wrong with those things. True self-love, according to Buddhist philosophy, is about seeing yourself clearly, without the distortion of judgment, without the filter of shame, without the constant comparison to others. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment and aversion. But the attachment we rarely talk about is the attachment to a false image of who we should be. We create this perfect version of ourselves in our minds, based on society's standards, our parents' expectations, social media highlights, and then we torture ourselves for not measuring up. And here's the devastating irony. The harder you are on yourself, thinking it will motivate you to improve, the more you actually reinforce the very behaviors and patterns you're trying to change. Neuroscience confirms what the Buddha knew. Self-criticism activates the threat response in your brain, flooding your system with cortisol and shutting down the creative, compassionate parts of your mind. So what did the Buddha actually teach about self-love? Let's go back to a story from the Pali Canon, the ancient Buddhist scriptures. One day, a woman came to the Buddha in tremendous pain. She was grieving, she was lost, and she asked him a profound question: how can I find peace when I hate who I am? The Buddha didn't give her a simple answer. Instead, he asked her to do something radical. He said, "For the next 7 days, I want you to observe your mind as if you were watching a river flow. Don't try to change the river. Don't judge the water for being muddy or clear. Just watch." The woman did as instructed, and something remarkable happened. As she observed her thoughts without judgment, she began to notice patterns. She saw how her mind created stories about who she was, stories that weren't actually true. She noticed how her self-hatred wasn't a fixed reality but a habit, a pattern of thinking she'd practiced so much it felt permanent. This is the first key teaching. Your thoughts about yourself are not facts. They're just thoughts. and thoughts can change. The Buddha taught something revolutionary for his time and ours, that within each person exists what he called Buddha nature, an inherent worthiness that cannot be diminished by mistakes, failures, or imperfections. You don't need to earn your value. You don't need to achieve it. You already possess it, simply by being alive. But here's where it gets interesting. The Buddha also taught that there is no permanent, unchanging self. This seems contradictory, right? How can you love yourself if there's no fixed self to love? Here's the key. When we talk about self-love in Buddhism, we're not talking about loving your ego, your achievements, your image. We're talking about accepting the flowing, changing nature of your existence. We're talking about treating yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a dear friend who's struggling. Let me ask you something. When a friend comes to you with a problem, makes a mistake, or feels inadequate, what do? You probably listen with empathy. You probably say things like, "It's okay, everyone makes mistakes. You're doing your best. I believe in you." You offer comfort, understanding, perspective. Now, when you make a mistake, what does your inner voice say? "You idiot. You always mess things up. Why can't you be better? You're such a failure." See the difference? We offer others compassion but give ourselves criticism. The Buddha recognized this as one of the fundamental causes of human suffering. He taught that true self-love begins with metta, loving kindness, and the first person who should receive your loving kindness is you. Dr. Kristen Neff, a researcher who spent decades studying self-compassion, identified 3 core components that align perfectly with Buddhist teachings. First, self-kindness versus self-judgment. This means treating yourself with warmth and understanding rather than harsh criticism. Second, common humanity versus isolation. This means recognizing that suffering, imperfection, and feeling inadequate are part of the shared human experience, not something wrong with you specifically. Third, mindfulness versus over-identification. This means holding your painful thoughts and feelings in balanced awareness rather than being consumed by them. Think about this for a moment. When you criticize yourself, you're actually reinforcing the false belief that you're separate, uniquely flawed, and alone in your struggle. But when you practice self-compassion, you're acknowledging a fundamental truth. Every human being experiences doubt, makes mistakes, and feels inadequate sometimes. You're not broken. You're human. The Buddha taught that self-compassion isn't weakness or self-indulgence. It's actually the foundation of genuine strength and resilience. When you can face your imperfections with kindness, you no longer need to hide from them. You can see them clearly and work with them skillfully. So how do you actually practice this? How do you transform 20, 30, maybe 40 years of self-criticism into self-compassion? The Buddha gave us specific practices, and I'm going to share 3 that you can start using today. The first practice is mindful awareness of your inner dialogue. For the next 24 hours, I want you to notice how you talk to yourself. Don't try to change it yet. Just notice. When you spill coffee, what does your mind say? When you look in the mirror, what's the commentary? When you make a mistake at work, what's the narrative? Write it down if you can. You'll be shocked at how cruel that voice is, because we've become so accustomed to it, we don't even hear it anymore. The second practice is what the Buddha called metta meditation, or loving kindness meditation. Here's a simple version you can try right now. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and silently repeat these phrases. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I live with ease. At first, this might feel awkward, even fake. That's normal. You're building a new neural pathway, developing a new habit. The resistance you feel is just your mind's attachment to the old pattern. Keep going. Say it like you mean it, even if you don't believe it yet. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I live with ease. The third practice is what I call the compassionate witness. When you notice you've made a mistake or fallen short of your expectations, pause. Take a breath. Then ask yourself, what would I say to a dear friend in this situation? Actually speak those words to yourself. Out loud if possible. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. You're learning. You're doing your best. This isn't about making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It's about responding to yourself with the same wisdom and compassion you'd offer someone you love. Because here's the truth, you cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself you'll love. You cannot shame yourself into worthiness. It doesn't work. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds nice, but isn't self-compassion just an excuse to be lazy? Won't I lose my edge if I stop being hard on myself? Don't I need that inner critic to stay motivated? This is one of the biggest misconceptions about self-love, and it's worth addressing directly. Research shows the exact opposite is true. People who practice self-compassion are actually more motivated, more resilient, and more successful than those who rely on self-criticism. Why? Because self-compassion comes from a place of genuine care and wisdom, while self-criticism comes from fear and shame. Think about it this way. If you had a coach who constantly told you that you were worthless, stupid, and would never succeed, would that motivate you? Or would it eventually break you? Your inner voice is your coach. And right now, for many of you, it's a terrible coach. The Buddha taught that there are 5 hindrances to inner peace: desire, aversion, sloth, restlessness, and doubt. But underneath all of these is a deeper hindrance: the belief that you are fundamentally flawed and unworthy. This belief keeps you trapped in a cycle of seeking external validation, comparing yourself to others, and never feeling like you're enough. Here's another obstacle: the fear that if you accept yourself as you are, you'll stop growing. But acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean giving up on your goals or settling for less. True acceptance means seeing reality clearly, without the distortion of harsh judgment, so you can respond wisely rather than react defensively. The Buddha used the metaphor of a wounded animal. If an animal is wounded, it doesn't heal by attacking itself. It finds a safe place to rest, it licks its wounds gently, it allows time for healing. Your psyche works the same way. When you're wounded by life, by failure, by rejection, you don't heal through self-attack. You heal through self-compassion. One more obstacle worth mentioning: the belief that you don't deserve love until you've achieved something, fixed yourself, or become perfect. This is the ego's trap. The truth is, you are worthy of love right now, in this moment, exactly as you are. Not because you're perfect, but because you exist. Let's go deeper into what the Buddha meant by true nature. In one of his most profound teachings, the Buddha spoke about the concept of emptiness, which sounds negative but is actually incredibly liberating. Emptiness doesn't mean you don't exist. It means you don't exist as a fixed, permanent, unchanging thing. Think about it. The you of 10 years ago is different from the you of today. Your cells have regenerated, your thoughts have evolved, your beliefs have changed. So which version is the real you? The answer is, all of them and none of them. You are a process, not a thing. You are a river, not a rock. This teaching is revolutionary for self-love because it means the version of yourself that you hate, the identity you've constructed based on past failures and current insecurities, isn't actually real in the way you think it is. It's a story, a pattern, a temporary formation of conditions. And if it's not permanent, it can change. The Buddha taught about the 5 aggregates: form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Together, these create the experience of being you. But none of these aggregates is permanent. Your body changes constantly. Your sensations come and go. Your perceptions shift. Your thoughts arise and pass away. Even your consciousness is not a static thing. So when you say, "I hate myself," which self are you talking about? The physical body that's different from moment to moment? The emotions that change like weather? The thoughts that flow through your mind like clouds? The deeper you look, the more you realize that this self you've been so hard on is more like a verb than a noun. You're not a fixed thing to be judged. You're an unfolding process to be witnessed with curiosity and care. This understanding brings tremendous freedom. It means you're not trapped by your past. You're not defined by your mistakes. You're not limited by who you were yesterday. Each moment is a new opportunity to choose compassion, to choose growth, to choose love. Let me tell you about a real transformation. There was a man named Jack, a successful entrepreneur who, from the outside, had everything: money, status, recognition. But inside, he was miserable. He worked 16-hour days, not because he loved his work, but because he was running from himself. Every achievement felt empty. Every success felt temporary. The voice in his head never stopped. You're not doing enough. You're going to fail. Everyone will discover you're a fraud. One day, Jack had what he later described as a breakdown or a breakthrough, depending on how you look at it. His body simply gave out. Panic attacks, insomnia, complete exhaustion. His doctor told him he needed to make serious changes or face serious consequences. In desperation, Jack started meditating. At first, it was torture. Sitting still meant being alone with the voice he'd been running from his entire life. But slowly, something shifted. He started to notice that the voice wasn't actually him. It was just a pattern, a habit of thought that had been running on autopilot for decades. He began practicing the loving-kindness meditation we talked about earlier. Every morning, for just 5 minutes, he would sit and repeat, "May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I live with ease." At first, it felt ridiculous, even painful. But he kept going. After several months, Jack noticed something remarkable. The voice was still there sometimes, but it had less power. It was like he'd found a volume knob he didn't know existed. He could turn it down. More importantly, he'd found a new voice, a kinder voice, one that offered encouragement instead of criticism. Today, Jack still works hard, but from a different place. Not from fear of failure, but from genuine passion. Not from trying to prove his worth, but from expressing his gifts. He says the difference is night and day. The external circumstances haven't changed that much, but his internal experience has transformed completely. This is what the Buddha meant by liberation. Not escaping from life, but changing your relationship to it, starting with your relationship to yourself. So how do you make this a daily practice? How do you integrate self-love into your actual life, not just as a concept but as a lived reality? Let me give you a practical framework based on Buddhist teachings that you can implement starting today. First, create what I call compassion checkpoints throughout your day. Set 3 alarms on your phone for morning, afternoon, and evening. When the alarm goes off, pause whatever you're doing and ask yourself, how am I speaking to myself right now? Is this the voice of compassion or the voice of criticism? Just that simple awareness can begin to shift the pattern. Second, establish a daily meditation practice, even if it's just 5 minutes. You don't need a special cushion or a quiet room. You can do this on your commute, during your lunch break, or before bed. The key is consistency, not duration. 5 minutes every day is more powerful than 30 minutes once a week. Here's a specific practice you can try. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and bring to mind a moment when you felt inadequate or disappointed in yourself. Instead of pushing this feeling away, let it be there. Then, place your hand on your heart and say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment. Third, practice what the Buddha called right speech, but direct it inward. Right speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and beneficially. Notice how often your internal speech violates all 3 of these principles. You speak to yourself untruthfully, telling yourself you're worthless when that's not true. You speak unkindly, using harsh, cruel language. And you speak in ways that aren't beneficial, that don't actually help you grow or heal. Make a commitment. For the next 30 days, every time you catch yourself speaking harshly to yourself, pause and rephrase it. Instead of, I'm so stupid, try, I made a mistake and that's okay. Instead of, I'm ugly, try, I'm learning to accept my appearance. Instead of, I'll never be good enough, try, I'm doing my best and that's enough. Fourth, cultivate gratitude for yourself. Each night before sleep, think of 3 things you appreciate about yourself. Not achievements or accomplishments, but qualities. Maybe you were patient with someone. Maybe you kept going despite feeling discouraged. Maybe you made someone smile. We've covered a lot in this video, so let's bring it home. True self-love, according to the Buddha's teachings, is not about ego or pride. It's not about thinking you're better than others or becoming narcissistic. It's about seeing yourself clearly, with all your imperfections and struggles, and choosing compassion over criticism. It's about recognizing your inherent worthiness, not because you've earned it, but because it's your birthright as a human being. The Buddha spent his entire life teaching one essential truth, that suffering is optional when you change your relationship to reality. And the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. If you can make peace with yourself, you can make peace with the world. If you can love yourself, not the imaginary perfect version, but the real, flawed, beautifully human version, then you unlock a source of strength and joy that nothing external can give you. I want to leave you with one final practice, something you can do right now. Place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. That heart has kept you alive through every difficulty, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt. It's never given up on you. It deserves your respect. It deserves your love. Now say this out loud: I am worthy of love and belonging, exactly as I am. I release the need to be perfect. I embrace my humanity with compassion and kindness. If this video resonated with you, if something shifted inside as you watched, I need you to do 3 things. First, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. We're building a community of people committed to inner peace and authentic growth, and your presence matters. Second, leave a comment below sharing one self-critical thought you're committing to transform into self-compassion. When you make it public, you make it real. And when others see your vulnerability, it gives them permission to be vulnerable too. Third, and this is most important, commit to one practice from this video for the next 30 days. Just one. Maybe it's the loving kindness meditation. Maybe it's the compassion checkpoints. Maybe it's simply noticing your inner dialogue. Choose one, commit to it, and watch what happens. Remember, you don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love. You just need to be you, beautifully imperfect, courageously human, learning and growing every single day. Thank you for watching. May you be safe, may you be healthy, may you be happy, may you live with ease.